I've got one that can see.
Logic before authority.
Hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on Logic Before Authority. And I'm going to use some logic today to show you some things that some of you, especially if you've never seen my work on these subjects before, you're going to think this man's crazy, so I better click away from this. However, if you realize that I've been here for 16 years, I've had my channel terminated 4 times, and I still have over 100,000 subscribers just on this one channel, there might be something to what I'm saying. Well, what am I saying? Well, that's one thing I'm saying among a bunch of things, but today this is what we're talking about. Do you remember this movie Terminator? How they showed that something fell from the sky in a ball of energy. Do you remember all that? Let me speed it up a little bit here. And it was a bright orb of white light or different color light with a lot of electricity to it. And they decided to depict it in Terminator like this, of course. There's your orb, all of the electricity flowing. Now, there are some of you here that know I have a documentary on these. In this case, it's not an angel, okay, or not necessarily an angel, maybe more appropriately a fallen, but we're talking about science fiction here. But at the same time, they're actually putting in some truth in here. The way things are able to manifest and travel in between dimensions, okay? And the electricity, plasma and current is tied to it. And many of you here also know that I have had experiences in my lifetime where I have had angels show me up close and personal things that they can do and things that they do and what they look like, you might say, supernaturally, okay? They're white, bright, round all about, balls of light, big as a Volkswagen, you know, kind of like what you're seeing right here. The size of this depiction at the back of this semi is about correct. And many of you know, because I've told the stories for years, that I've seen them on the mountaintops and at the water's edge and occasionally other places, but especially mountaintops and water's edge. Most recently, water's edge, speaking matter of factly of the East Coast in South Carolina and Pawleys Island, just south of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, standing on the beach just after dark, which is what this scene is depicting, just after dark. And there will be a spark that manifests right prior to them showing up. See how they're showing and depicting the sparks taking place, and then all of a sudden, poof, they manifest. It's pretty good graphics, really, for how it works, except for they don't necessarily, that I could tell, they don't necessarily come from they don't blow up like a balloon, exactly. They're just there all of a sudden after you see the spark. And I have a documentary documenting numerous cases where people have filmed this all around the world. And the documentary is on my channel, the Logic Before Authority channel. And some of it is probably even on the Supernatural Show channel. Now, what I'm doing is I'm showing you, and we're going to talk about what are all of these things that people are seeing falling from the skies. There's 2 things going on. There's man-made intervention. There's man-made You know how the Bible says that that they would cause fire to fall from the heavens. Okay. And what are we seeing right now? We're seeing fire falling from the heavens. Well, and then you say, well, I've been seeing this your whole life. Do you know how long your whole life has to do with how long this world has been here? We are in the season of when this is happening a lot more. And you say, well, it's just people got cameras now. It's being recorded more, but it's happening a lot more in general. Statistically, even year over year, it's happening a lot more. These events, just like that, it even showed a nice little pulse there. That was pretty good too. And then the difference is that the ball of light in this case never all of a sudden turns into, some kind of a being like this. Again, this is sci-fi, also depicting an element of truth. Okay. Now, remember that, of course. We've got a lot of things to look at here. Do you remember Starman, the movie Starman, where they depicted a starman falling from heaven, coming down and falling in love with a woman? Now, how did they depict that? Did you see that again? Fireball coming down, in this case with a ball of fire and a lot of sparks. And there's the woman that ultimately this being is going to go see and fall in love with. And here goes that depiction. Here goes the deity coming across the lake, coming across the waters, and ultimately heading to her house. I have to pause it every now and then because of copyright, because I really don't want this video taken down. So here he comes across the waters. Interesting how they tied in the waters with this as well. And he's headed to the woman. And they've got him bright white, but also with purple hue, which I have seen on occasion. And what they're depicting here is an orb floating up of a deity that has fallen from the heavens. Kind of reminds me of the Bible, don't it you? And he's going to find a woman and fall in love with her and wish to have sex with her. That's how that's going to be depicted and play out. And of course, you've also got the Transformers arrival. They did the same thing. They fell from the heavens as a ball of light. Now, why are they depicting this? Because, one, they want you to believe in something like Terminators or aliens or something like that coming from the heavens. But what the truth actually is something much different. They're telling us right now that we've got rocks and dirt falling from the heavens. And that is an absolute deception and lie. That's not the things that are falling. They're saying there's a grain of sand burning up in the atmosphere, or this one's big as a whatever, And it's not the case. It's lies. It's deception. And yeah, they're tying some of this stuff in here, but they're twisting it, you see, because they have a long-term agenda. All of these movies are designed and created in order to move you, to move your way of thinking and believing ever so slightly. Because here you have all of these, and there's many more that depict this. Now, let's take a look at some things. This is the American Fireball Report, or AMSmeteors.org. Okay. And they're recording all these events that people report. Okay. Supposedly all these are individuals from all the different countries that submit reports. Some of them have photos, some of them have videos, and we're going to look at some of those. When you look at these, think about what I just showed you, and think about the comets that we've seen. All these things leave this tail of light behind it. Now, how many times have I talked about on this channel when I described what angels do, when I've seen them in person? When they streak, they leave a tail of light or sparks behind them. I've explained to you that I stood on the beach one night in Pawleys Island, South Carolina, and one flew above my head, coming from the rear, only about 25 foot above my head, and struck out straight out over the ocean, directly above my head, went out over the ocean and leaving a tail of sparks, just like a comet or just like a meteor. Do you think that's a coincidence? Of course, that is the reason why I'm sure all those times that I've seen these things, like when I was standing in the same spot another night and one of them it appeared, started to fade, and then cast a lightning bolt into the ocean. Sound familiar when you look back over at some of this stuff? It's because they know, and they build it into these movies, all the alien movies and all these things, they know. So when I'm looking at these and we're looking at these, keep that stuff in mind, because I don't believe for a second these are dirt balls, or rocks falling from the heavens. I'm like you. I used to think it must have been real. I even remember many years ago, I thought, well, there's so many stars in the skies, there must be alien life out there. The thing is those stars are not what they've told us, like planets, places where you can go and land, like they're talking about they're going to go land on Mars or land even on the moon. All that stuff is nonsense. It's faked in a Hollywood studio. Like, what is it, Red Hot Chili Peppers? Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. Yeah. Yep, absolute truth. So what I did here was I went through, and there's tons. This is just, this is the third. The third goes, well, we're still in the third. The second starts right here. From there all the way down to about right here is the second. These are just people who reported things. I'm going to show you several days of activity. This is a very recent one. Okay, like, matter of fact, let's see, that is 3969. That's this one right here. It had a lot of people who've seen it. This was on the 2nd. So this was yesterday. A lot of people who've seen it. It was over in Europe, you know. And I've got the 3 videos of it pulled up here. And understand this too. Another thing, and I've stated this years ago and more recently on my channel. I have seen them flash, and so have you. You've seen them flash and then streak through the sky, leaving a trail of light. One of them did it above the rock of the dome, or the Dome of the Rock in Israel. It came down, a deity, I don't know which one, good or bad, came down above the rock of the dome, hovered, 4 different people recording it, at least, because we've all seen it. And if you haven't, you can look it up and see it. Came down above, hovered right above it as a bright white and round all about ball of light, just like is described in the book of Enoch. And all of a sudden it flashes. And you'll see in these videos, these things flash and light up everything when they flash. Just like what I've seen. I've seen this at least 5 times at the beach in Pawleys Island. You can see it coming on the hood of this car over here. And then it puts off a flash. But Daniel, that's just the rock blowing up. If you want to believe NASA, you're on the wrong channel, okay? If you want to realize that NASA is a liar and a deceiver, then you're on the right channel. And I'll show you and explain some things to you. Do I know everything? Absolutely not. I'm just only sharing with you the experiences that I have or have had, and so that you can learn from my experience, okay, and not be deceived. So it comes across, you can see it coming down the hood of the car, gives a nice flash. Okay, that was that same one, and there's another one of that same one, just real quick down at the bottom of the screen. And then here's another one from the same event. And you can see a nice flash out of that one. And I think this is also from the same one. Yeah, you can see it coming over the top of the car right there. And then that flash. And here's another one. This one, let me back up. This one was in the last day or 2 as well, or the last week for sure. What I did was I went through, you have to go through and find all the ones that have video. I mean, you can look at any of them, but most of these reports do not have video. So you have to find the video. One of the easiest ways to find out which ones have video is to go to the American Meteor Society channel. And they'll have them all on here if the video got submitted. And then, of course, there are people out there, a lot of people, probably the majority, that never submit it to the American Meteor Society, but they may upload it, possibly, on their channel or somewheres, you know. But we have this one, and it has a couple of videos, 3 to be exact. So let's look at this one. And what we're mainly looking for are patterns. Now, this one is particularly interesting because of the way it looks. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger. Of course, it's right up here. I'll play it one or two more times like this. This one looks like literally a ball rolling through the sky. Looks like a wheel turning. And they're energetically literally spinning and turning when I've seen them in front of me, 30 feet, 50 foot, 100 foot in front of me. They turn and spin like a torus. If you know what a torus is, it's the energetic signature pretty much of everything, including our world. WHIRLED is the correct spelling of world, because that is what we live in. We live in a toroidal field in the eye of the storm where things are calm, is where we live. Let me see. Let me slow this down just a little bit. Let's go to 1/4 speed. And one thing that you will notice on a few of these, and even the news reports have been pointing it out on some of them, is that they're not following a straight path in all cases. They will alter their course sometimes. Now, if it's a rock, which it's not, but if it were, of course, it would not alter its path. There's that one there. A bit hard to see if you're on a cell phone, I'm sure. But just a brief, shows up briefly and then just flashes and disappears. We got one more of this one. There's a couple of these that are just like that one before that are very interesting. And there's that one. The same one again. And of course, they want you to believe these are rocks falling out of the sky. I do not believe that at all. I've seen too many supernatural things that look like these and can do the things that these things are doing, the streaking across the sky. Here's one up in the Great Lakes that has been spotted. And we've got 3 videos of it as well. These were all in the last week. This obviously was one that didn't show up very much in this image. Oh, there it is, across the top up there. Okay. All right. Take a look at another one. This is the same one as the last one. Giving us a double flash. And of course, they've got an answer for everything, don't they? If you need a lie, they got one ready for you. Funny how Star Trek started to come up there, ain't it? This is another one that from that same event, just from a different angle. You really don't get to see it much. It's really right here at the beginning only. Trying to get it. There we go. Oh, there. Okay. Now, another one. And we'll talk about patterns and all of that here in a moment. I'm just trying to work my way through some of these. This one has a video as well, just one video. And it's right there towards the end. It's going to streak right up here across the screen, just above the clouds. Now, again, Dome of the Rock, the one that struck straight up. Or you can go to my documentary and see tons of these deities flying in the heavens. They're angels for the most part. I can't say I understand it all and swear to exactly everything, but I can tell you that these are angels of light, balls of light. And can they manifest in other ways? Probably. But the ways that I have seen them and known that they were angels are balls of light, big balls. There's a lot of different size entities that are out there that can present themselves as little balls of light or energy, all the way from the size of just a little bubble, all the way up to the big ones, which are the angels of heaven. In my documentary, I show even when people die that a ball of light will come out of their body. Even when a rat dies, a very small little bubble of light will come out of his body and float upwards. It's the way things work, you understand? When things are traveling across dimensional planes, using the best words we have, there's always a spark, like when the egg of a woman is being fertilized. When it is fertilized, there is a spark that takes place, a flash of light. That's why they put it in the Terminator movies. That's why I see it with the angels. That's why it's in my documentary, showing it 50 times, is because this is how this world works. There's another one. Got a little click happy there. Looks like I only have one video on it too. And it's going to make us watch a commercial. Okay, here we go. Over there in the background. Not too exciting, but appearing, streaking, and disappearing. This is what you see when I've dealt with the angels. When they streak like this, there's a point to where they'll just all of a sudden just vanish. They'll show up, streak, and then just vanish. I've seen it too many times that I cannot stand here and not tell you that this is the case. This is what happens. And I know that we're being deceived. They're telling us it's rocks. Okay. Apparently this is one of the ones that's recently been seen off the East Coast. And not that big one the other day up in Massachusetts. That was a very large one. This one is interesting because it turns similar and starts spinning, kind of like, just very interesting looking. Okay, but let's look at another one here. I know you may be, if you're here for entertainment, probably not that entertaining, but I don't do this for entertainment purposes. This is all for educational purposes for us as a group. Okay. This one was in central South Carolina. near Columbia. I don't believe this one was the big one because it got tons of reports. Wait a minute. They said they never figured out the one in Columbia and what caused it. But here we have May 28th. It's several days back. What's today? The second or the third? The third. So this would have been about 6 days ago. That sounds about the same event. Let's see, and we've got video too. I'd have to double check the times to see if it's the same. This one streaking downward. Here, quite different. Going at a much, what appears to be a much slower rate of speed. You see, not just shoom across the sky. Something else you'll notice too, because they're telling us these are meteors, and they'll tell us that they're coming all from a particular meteor shower. So, meaning a specific spot in the heavens, they're all coming from that spot, which means that they all travel in the same direction, or they should be all traveling in the same direction, like east to west or south to north, whatever the case is, depending on what their story is, right? Problem is, and I'm going to show you the proof of it here in just a minute, is that they're not traveling anywhere remotely anywhere as close to the same, from the same direction, headed to the same direction. They're coming from every direction and headed to every direction. I'm going to take you to another website here in just a minute and show that to you. Here's one over Germany. As we they try to sell us something that ain't good for us. Yeah, it's still playing. I missed that myself. Oh, it's just very small. Difficult to see. All right. Just one of those. I had a video, so I pulled it up. Here's another one. This is in Florida. It does have one video. And I'm looking really for, this might be the one I'm looking for. Matter of fact, this was very interesting. Let's take a look at it. Now watch the sky. Okay. Whatever's going on is going on right over here. Watch the sky. And watch it when the sky goes back to, let's call it normal. See? This is normal. Maybe the sun must be over here. I would assume that's the sun, the light from the sun. But watch it again. And also pay attention to right in here. After it starts to calm down, there's a blue flash in the sky right here. Right there was the blue flash. See that? And I could play, devil's advocate. Maybe that was a flash of lightning way in the distance back there, that blue flash right there. But this is a very strange video. The way it's doing all this multiple extreme flashing. It's very interesting to me. And then the blue flash down there again. We'll look at maybe one or so more here. There's quite a few because a lot of people have been seeing them and some people are catching them. This one, of course, is in Colorado. Okay. You notice They even show here on here which direction it's traveling, right? So from the north to the south, as they've taught us to believe. And if we go back and look at all the directions that they're traveling, if they have it on there, like this one, let's see if they've got a directional line. Yeah. This one's traveling from the northwest to the southeast. See if this one has its marker. This one is traveling from the northeast to the southwest. That isn't what I'm going to show you, though. I'm going to show you here in just a moment. Probably after this one. Let's see, this is at a pretty great distance, as you can tell because of how low it is down on the horizon. Because everything at distance comes together. It's called the disappearing point. Anytime you're looking at anything at a great distance, whatever you're looking at will be closer and closer, depending on the distance, to the horizon itself, and will disappear ultimately due to distance into the horizon. The same way the sun and the moon work. But let's go back over here. Got this website I want to show you real quick. If I'll stop jumping all around. This website, it's a NASA website. And no, I don't believe NASA, no, but what this is simply just, it's a network of, see if I can, it's a network of cameras, okay? And there are 360 cameras where you can see the entire sky, and they record, it records events when anything is seen streaking across the sky. And it's all the cameras are ran by individuals. Like you could get one and apply and hook it up to this network and be part of the network, right? But if you notice, and it's probably hard for some of you to see if you're not putting this on a bigger screen, you know, from your cell phone, you can, if you happen to have a smart TV in your house, you can cast from your cell phone to the TV and watch my videos or anybody's videos on your television. Plus, if you have a smart TV, you can watch on there as well, so you can see much better. But what I'm trying to point out, and I don't think it'll work if I just right click and try to open the image, will it? No. You can see the direction in which these things are heading because they leave a tail like a comet or like an angel when an angel is streaking. Okay. Now, some of you haven't seen that, and I understand it's going to be difficult for you to believe. But this one here, you can notice that it's traveling in its own direction from like northwest to southeast. And as you start looking at the other events from the same camera, this one here is traveling from the east, from the southeast to the northeast, traveling this way. This one is traveling this way. Go down and find another event. This one is traveling this way. This one traveling this way. What I'm pointing out here, and this one's traveling this way, and this one is traveling, looks like that way. This one is traveling this way, and that one is traveling that way. This one is traveling this way. That one is traveling almost straight across. What I'm trying to point out here is that they're flying from all different directions. That one's traveling that way. This one that way. This one straight across. They're not just coming from one point in the sky, which is what they like to tell us. That they're coming from one meteor shower, and it's, well, if you go look that up, that means that all the meteors will travel from one direction headed to the same direction. All of them will be moving generally in the same direction. They might be at different spots in the sky, but they're headed from and to the general same direction. But that's not what we're seeing here. That's just from one day. If I go to a different day, you end up seeing the same exact thing again. This one's traveling straight down almost, or either straight up. This one is traveling that way. This one's traveling that way. This one's traveling this way. This one's traveling this way. This one's traveling that way. This one's traveling this way. This one's traveling that way. The one down here is traveling this way. I mean, they're just every direction, every way. What I'm trying to do is help you understand that they're lying about these coming from the tail of an old comet or something like that. And comets are basically the same thing that we're talking about here, except for comets are a lot higher up. They're still traveling at pretty quick speeds, but they're much higher up, and they appear when we see them like they're almost sitting still in the sky because of the distance they are from us, you see. I hope that makes sense. I hope it does. But if you, again, keep in mind what they've shown us throughout media over time, it should explain or help you understand at least, they're trying to deceive you and make you believe that something that's going to happen here very soon is going to be aliens, an invasion, but hey, they're here to save us, we found out, or something along those lines. And also just to help you understand that these are not rocks. Yeah, you can go out there and find somebody that claims they've got one. When I still believed in them many years ago, I thought I may have found one time. It was a very interesting rock. But once I came to the understanding of everything that I've learned, there's just no way that I believe NASA or anything that they say. Anyways, I think most of you understand. Most of you understand. Last month, I wanted to thank everyone from the month of May for supporting my work, which includes Diane M, David Q, Robert G, Christopher B, Kimberly G, Karen J, Daniel L, Diana M, Robin W, Angela F, David A, Paul M, Chris M, a couple of people who want to be anonymous, Antoinette S, Christopher H, Emily L, Brandy E, Marianne sorry Marianne, but thank you very much. And thank y'all guys very much. And my work is all I do. I've been doing it for 16 years. If you're newer here, the only income I have, it comes from y'all guys. Because I'm not going to take sponsorships. I'm not going to take, not sponsorships like with companies and things like that to push products. I can't do it. And it never ends up, like one time I started trying to promote this soap. And then a few weeks later, they come out with a line that had a porn star's bathwater in the soap they were selling. And I'm like, oh no. And I'm like, I'm done, So anyways, I appreciate y'all guys' support greatly. Whenever you make a donation to my work, and when you can, it can be any amount. And if you make a donation more than 1 month in a row, I will add you to the extra on my videos, which is I call a producer, because basically you're helping me produce this work. And you all are, whether you just do it once every 6 months or you do it a little bit every month. And it doesn't matter what the amount is, simply because everybody's situation is different, okay? And I know that. But I greatly appreciate y'all guys' support. I do need your support. I need your support even today, simply because I've got things that I really need to do. Really need to fix 2 leaks in my roof in my house. I really need to some way try to at some point find transportation that is dependable, because we keep getting stranded places. I literally almost had a heat stroke the other day. I mean, it was bad. We got stranded in the middle of a parking lot. It was 90 some degrees, and I started pouring sweat trying to figure out what to do with the car, and about had a heat stroke. Luckily it passed, but it was not good. But at some point I figure Father will make a way. It's just, I have to be patient, and I'm just waiting on that day. I just need something that, I don't care what it looks like. It just could, transportation that's more dependable than what I got, because what I got is giving me a lot of issues. With that being said, I've poor-mouthed enough. I love you. Thank you. And hopefully you got something from today's video. Bye-bye for now.
I've got one that can see.
Logic before authority.